Well, wouldn't you know it? The Mandalorian and Grogu box office numbers over the weekend, all of those headlines might as well be lies, because it turns out those numbers were fake. And the real numbers? Well, they're dropping. And today we're going to share with you where they're likely to land and why it could be a PR stunt pulled by Disney and their media sycophants to save a struggling Star Wars.
I know I've said it 1,000,001 times on this stream, and I still believe it to be true. The Mandalorian and Grogu will make $1 billion.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's revision time for the box office on Mandalorian and Grogu, and they're downgrading it as we speak. First attention I got on this was I was checking the numbers and I saw round zeros everywhere, and I said, number one, that looks odd, and number two, that looks less than it was just a few hours ago. And, well, we found out as time went on that these numbers are going down. Domestic box office now rounded down to 81 million, but you'll notice all those zeros, that's not real. That's the estimate, and the estimate is dropping. The international box office also down, previously 65. The domestic was 83. Worldwide box office now measured at 144 with zeros across the board. And the chances that this thing is going to reach the numbers they thought, dropping by the minute. Let me explain why.
I have it on good authority that $2 billion is in play.
$2 billion, you say? Lauren, you know what? You jumped the line.
Where's the finger gun? You got to do the finger guns with that.
Come on, Lauren, say pew, pew, pew. Sign me up.
I'm not going to do the voice, no.
Lauren beat me to the punch. Here we go, folks.
Everybody keeps telling me there's no way that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie makes $2 billion. But I think people are underestimating this movie.
I know I've said it 1,000,001 times on this stream, and I still believe it to be true. The Mandalorian and Grogu will make $1 billion. And you could be looking at 1.5. You could be looking at maybe 1.7. And if it's really good, you could be talking about a $2 billion movie.
Yeah, I'm standing by it. $2 billion is absolutely in play.
Okay, so, we've made fun of them plenty. We've made fun of them plenty, but we have to. We just have to because, listen, they're victims of the mainstream media and their fandom, but they're victims of choosing who tells them what to believe. Now, if you look at this, folks, here's the reason this movie's in big trouble, to borrow from Chris Berman. The domestic box office, this is measuring Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is not yet included. 81 million. Now, I just named 4 days. Monday is not included. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, I'm not the best at math, but I can tell you, based on my understanding from third grade, 80 million divided by 4 gets me to 20 million. And I can also tell you that I'm not sure that Memorial Day operates anywhere close to the preview day, the Friday opening day, and the Saturday. I'm not sure a Monday, even if it's a holiday, comes anywhere close to that. And if it doesn't, the domestic's under 100. The domestic is under 100 if that holds true. And everybody's guessing right now, except that everybody's pulling it back. Real quick, a couple of things I want to show you before the panel weighs in, and they've got lots to say. Rebecca Rubin from Variety on May 24th, we were very harsh about this. She said, box office, Mandalorian and Grogu lifts off with 102 million over Memorial Day holiday. And we're very harsh about this because we said, well, how do you know that exactly? Like, how are you speaking in the present tense about something that hasn't happened and you don't have the ticket sales at this time for Sunday or Monday? But actually, this is slightly down. Some of them were calling out 103. So well done, Rebecca. At least you didn't go that high, right? Where are they now? Well, over on Deadline, Anthony D'Alessandro is updating. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu opens to 163 worldwide, 100 million 4-day US. What does this even mean? Now, Anthony is putting out the $100 million mark as the headline. And he's including the Monday in this because he's guessing, he's estimating. Some call it a guesstimate. And that means that we won't have the real numbers until Wednesday. We won't get the final tally until Wednesday, but by that time, it'll be too late. All of the public will have moved on. They won't be reading those headlines anymore. That's old news. And I believe that the mainstream media confused people on purpose. I think it's unlikely now this gets to the $100 million mark for the weekend on the domestic box office, but the headlines straight up lied to you. Phil, I want to go to you first on this one. Your thoughts on the way the press manipulated this the whole way through on the weekend just to make sure they gave it 100, because if they said 99, if they said 98, that was going to be a horrible fate for Star Wars.
I think that this is all in a way to just make the investors happy. I think they're trying to show that, hey, this IP and what we have right now is not a failure. It's not considered a failure. But if you actually consider a lot of people, this is more for like the younger group, right? The movie is about like a little over 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 hours, 12 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And I didn't watch the movie, but I've seen a lot of feedback. I've seen reviews and stuff like that. And even someone like most critical, Charlie, he said that this movie is not a good movie. And he has how many million subscribers? 16 million subscribers on YouTube. He reaches out to a lot of younger demographic. And this is what it's supposed to be for, right? A younger demographic. And I don't think this movie is going to have any legs. I think it's just, I think it's all bull crap, in my opinion. I think that they're trying to make it look good. So hopefully, hey, the movie is actually doing really, really good. Oh, let's go watch it next week. And I think that the next week fall off is going to be huge compared to the first weekend.
I totally agree with you. And I'm starting to wonder too, did the PG-13 hurt it? Because it's very clear in this film that, there's almost no language, but there are a couple places where they intentionally go a little extra violent, specifically one place with fire, and I think it was just to get the PG-13 rating. Turns out, all the kids 7 to 12, the boys 7 to 12, that's the demo. They didn't aim for them, but that's the demo. And they can't go without a parent because it's PG-13. So I don't know, panel, what do you say? Did the PG-13 hurt them?
Yeah, well, and I think that those boys, 7 to 13, have been told for their entire lifetime that Star Wars is not for them, so they don't actually care. They're home watching anime because that is actually marketed to them. I think that what you're seeing right now is they've said 100 million, and the people that want to hear 100 million have heard it. And so now it's in their head, and no matter what actual number comes out that's real, those people will be like, no, it's 100 million, and they'll pull up screenshots from, incorrect projections, and they'll throw it in your face, and it's going to create just more fan contention and fan fighting on X and whatnot. It's absolutely insane just how hard people are going to the mattresses for this movie right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like this movie of all movies that they're defending it with this much vitriol.
Yeah, and if we look at the Disney movies, like all of the Disney movies come in at PG-13. Almost all of the George movies the George Lucas movies come in at PG, except for Revenge of the Sith. And I remember that. I remember Revenge of the Sith, like, oh my gosh, it's PG-13. Why? Well, it's a lot of cool action scenes. But,
a lot of dead kids, yeah.
Disney stuff has been PG-13.
Yeah, but
a lot of slaughtered babies.
I doubt if the rating would have anything to do with it anyway. I have never, to my knowledge, ever seen a theater turn away kids under 13 to go to a 13 movie. I don't think they really police that all that much until you get to R, if they even police it then. It's just there for the parents to pay attention, and let's be honest, the parents don't pay attention.
Well,
yeah,
okay, so...
Right. I was going to say, I was always getting into PG-13 movies, when I was under 13. That wasn't a thing anyone's ever really cared about. I guess it doesn't PG even stand for like parental guidance suggested for under 13. Like rated R is no admittance under 17 unless with a parent or guardian. It's been
a few since I've tried to bypass that. It's been a little bit since I tried to break my way into a PG-13. But Wiz, I was thinking of you earlier today as I saw these numbers. Downgraded quietly, nobody really saying out loud, hey, we're reducing the numbers. All of us are doing that right now. And as I was thinking about you, and you have really, I think, been leading the way here saying Star Wars is dead, cancel Disney Plus, all that sort of stuff. And I just wondered, what's your take on this as we go now into the next stage of the news coverage, which will be the second weekend drop? What do you think we had?
What's crazy is that on the same weekend that we get Mandalorian out, we're actually getting a record breaker with the horror movie Obsession, which was a 39% increase weekend into its second weekend, right? And here's a movie that is being judged strictly on the merits of here's what the budget was as a production budget, here is what it cost Universal to buy that movie, and then everybody is getting rich because this movie is making tons of money. You see, here's what the budget is in, here's what's coming out. And here with Star Wars, in the same weekend, People are shifting the goalpost every which way they possibly can. Oh, well, Disney did this with advertising. Oh, Disney did this with merchandise. Oh, Disney did this over here. So they're making money in some way with this film.
Won't someone please think of the merch sales, Wiz?
Yes,
one of the biggest mistakes they made, Wiz, was the Disney executive, the anonymous Disney executive. And I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to shift the narrative, but gave away the football to THR and said it needs $600 million to break even. That was... What a horrible thing. I mean, somebody's in trouble in the C-suite because that, I bet, was not supposed to be leaked to THR.
No. But what we are seeing is it feels like a moral responsibility is to hold these people accountable. I mean, Marv and I talked about it on Culture Crossfire. There are 3 ways that you can disprove the narrative of it was $165 million. That's all it costs to make this. No, that doesn't account for marketing. That doesn't account for theatrical exhibition breakdown. And it also doesn't account for all of the things that Valiant Renegade pointed out and informed us all about the top of line budget items that are not in the original 165 million. Those are three facts, not opinions, not ideas, facts, 3 factual numbers we don't have that would make the budget on this significantly higher than what it is. I feel it is a moral responsibility to hold the press, the social media, the influencers, and all of the shills accountable because they are white knighting for this thing. Star Wars bleeding out in the snow they cannot sustain that, especially when you have at the same time in the theater something that was made by a YouTuber absolutely crushing it. This is the end of Hollywood. And with the next few things on the horizon for what's coming next, we got Supergirl, The Odyssey, Toy Story 5. We got to see where that lands. It is a terrible year to be Hollywood. The Emperor has no clothes.
Here's the other thing that we need to say, and you're exactly right, Wiz. These numbers are dropping. That means our projection must drop as well. So here's the deal, folks. Depending on how the Monday performs, we now have to change where we're at on this. And it's simple because we're not going to change off the 2.25 that we think will be the legs ultimately for this film. So if it has a 2.25 leg out, and part of the reason we think that it only has a 2.25 leg out is because it's facing He-Man in 10 days, and He-Man is going to take away all the PLFs in 10 days. I mean, there is no runway. It has a second weekend, and it's over. Now, I mean, it's not over. It'll still be in theaters, but all the high-end tickets are gone. So where do we put this now, folks? If we do a 2.25 runway for this or 2.25 leg out, we're now looking at, depending on the Monday, 323 million to 375 as the worldwide total haul. And that would be catastrophic. That would be completely and totally catastrophic. There's no doubt about it. Now, there's a way that you know it's catastrophic. And Andy, I want to get you in on this one. We know it's catastrophic because the shift has happened. The rats are leaping off of the ship. When Rolling Stone is known for basically one thing, and they shill for whatever is the anti-truth. When Rolling Stone actually, they even see it to the point they say, it's cooked. Andy, it's over. I think this is the first sign truly that everybody needs to get in line now and know Star Wars is dead. We're not going to carry the water anymore. We're not going to try to fake it. Everybody accept it and let's move on. We killed the thing. We're happy about it. Stuck it to the Chuds because the Chuds love Star Wars. So neener. We took away your favorite toys and they're out of there. That's the plan.
Yeah. If only they had made Hunter, Wolf, and Grogu. that would have really brought them in.
Trapper Wolf. I thought you were going with Hunter Biden there for a minute. I thought you were going to put Hunter Biden with Grogu, and I was like, no, Andy, don't do that.
I saw firsthand exactly just how little people care about this. I was at Disney's Hollywood Studios over the weekend on Saturday, the day after this movie released, the day after Hollywood Studios just revamped its Smuggler's Run Millennium Falcon ride into The Mandalorian and Grogu. 4 p.m., 20-minute wait. Hollywood Studios was crowded. You walked into Galaxy's Edge, and there's nobody there. It was a ghost town. And then you walk back out into Toy Story Land, and it's shoulder-to-shoulder people again. It's like it was just a dead space. It was where you go when you want to get away from it. It was Tom Sawyer Island, in a sense.
Marvin,
like
for a new ride,
you want to get away from the crowds.
For a new ride that is cross-promoting a film that literally is releasing the same weekend as the ride.
And so that had a 20-minute wait the next day, prime time in the parks. And if you scroll down, Pro, you could see an image of what it was like for the Big Thunder reopening. With that ride barely even changed. It was just a couple new lights, and it was packed with people. Look at all those people. That's what a new ride at Disney is.
And I want to piggyback off of. Sorry to interrupt you. I do want to piggyback off of what Marv is saying, is because I was there. Okay, I was there at Disneyland when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out that weekend, or Indiana Jones. No new movie tie-in, nothing. It was a 2-hour wait for that ride. Because people thought that there was going to be some kind of movie tie-in. People didn't care. A lot. That was insane. Typically, that ride breaks down a lot, and it's about a 45-minute wait typically without Fast Pass back in the day. And it was a 2-hour wait, knowing that and hearing that this is a 20-minute wait for this Smuggler's Run. That's absolutely awful for Disney.
It gets even worse, Phil, because I passed the Mandalorian and Grogu, the characters, and nobody cared. Like, there were less than 20 people around them, where usually they have a mob. It was the day after the movie came out, and nobody cared. There's a full vlog coming to Park Hoppin' sometime this week. It's already edited and sent off, so it should be any day now, that actually shows you this. There's nobody there. And like what Phil's saying is true. Like if there was a new Zootopia, there'd be a big line for Better Zootopia over in Animal Kingdom. That's what happens when people are actually excited for a property again. And I mean that was it. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which was a terrible movie that bombed too. So just think of how bad it is for Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
So, and I think you guys are all exactly right. I mean, there's no better sign of how much trouble this is in than the ride, because. And we'll break this down much more in detail later on, folks, but the wait time actually dropped. It was a bad ride. And it dropped when they switched it to a better ride with Mandalorian. That's crazy. That never, ever happens. Lauren, I want to go to you. You like this film decently enough. You said it's not a great film, and I thought that was very fair of you. You went in open-minded. But clearly, a decent film is not sufficient to save Star Wars. And I think fans are actually angry. I don't think fans have abandoned Star Wars. I think fans are saying we will never return to Disney Star Wars. But I think people still love, and the Nielsen ratings bear this out. People still love A New Hope. People still love Empire Strikes Back. People still love Return of the Jedi. People still love the prequels. People even like Rogue One. But they are not going to let Lucasfilm off the mat. And that's very painful, I think, for Disney. And I don't know if they're going to accept it. What do you think happens now?
It's difficult to tell what happens now, because I agree. I think people are extremely angry. It's hard to see any corrective measure that Lucasfilm or Disney can take at this point. We've all had discussions on what we think they might do. We've had discussions about behind the scenes things that we've heard, whether or not they're true or not. But quite simply, I'd go back to what I said when we were first discussing the movie. I enjoyed it, but this shouldn't be a movie. And it certainly shouldn't have been the movie that they put out now. This is not what the audience was looking for. The audience was looking for a clear course correction. The best that they got was that it didn't reference the sequel trilogy, but we need more than a negative reference to the thing that everybody hates. We need something that indicates that they have some kind of a plan, which is the thing that they have not had ever since they got a hold of the property. They've been working on this thing now for 14 years. Now, you could say a lot of that is because Kathleen Kennedy didn't have a plan. She was just making it up as she went along, and everybody was following suit. And it's a little unfair, given that Dave is just now supposedly taking over the reins. I think he's a little better at planning than she is, but he is a cartoon director, and that shows in his live-action stuff as well. And his plan is going to involve his pet characters. He doesn't have the juice necessary to be able to do the course correction needed to get Star Wars back into a healthy place.
Panel, final thoughts on this one. I think by Wednesday it's going to be under 100. We'll cover it. But I think it's still going to be confusing to normies out there, and the Star Wars Disney fans, the few that still are there, the Raylos, the three of them in the world, We'll be out there crowing still about 103, 104, 105, even though it was a fake number all the time.
Can I add one final thing?
Go for it.
I'm going to put my prediction at final numbers when this thing finally takes a bow at 312.
Oh my gosh. That's under my... Come on, Lauren. So we currently, and we're just using math, 323 to 375 is where we believe it will be. And that, again, is catastrophic. You're saying lower than that.
You remember what I said about the opening weekend numbers?
What did you say?
Initially, I said 65 to 70. And I was closer than you guys were on your projection, so I'm sticking at 312.
Let's see. Mine, what did I say? I think I said 85 on mine. I don't remember now. I hope I said the actual number, and I'm just too humble to say it now. Somebody go back and check and see. Tell me where was Pro at on this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we'll leave it right now. But Star Wars is not in a good place. The headlines manufactured, the numbers not real. And by Wednesday, we'll tell you where this actually landed. But so many of the drive-bys, they'll have moved on and they'll be into defending maybe the second weekend, or maybe they'll just be bragging about He-Man. Who knows? But so it goes with Star Wars.
Hey, Floral, guess what?
You put a fork in Pro's microwave again.
No, that was yesterday.
I don't know that what.
Oh, I've decided to give up on torturing Jonas.
What? Why? In the same way the cat sleeps like 20 hours a day, that was like your purpose.
I know, but I've decided there's bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
Like Lorne. I mean, think about it. Everybody loves him. He's a fan favorite, and frankly, he has almost no weaknesses I can find. Except that he's really smart.
So, you want to annoy the one panelist without a single flaw, because he's smart.
Yeah, like that winged statue at that fancy Paris museum thingy. I want to break the one thing that everyone loves most.
Right. So, kind of like the opposite of Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, exactly. And I get to see her all the time at family reunions anyway.
You get to see Rachel Zegler?
Yeah. She's a total troll. Lives under a bridge, harasses billy goats, the whole 9 yards.
It all makes sense now.
Speaking of which, maybe she'll get me... I'm gonna call her on my... I'm gonna call her and see if she'll be in the next Indiana Jones. She should be the next Indiana Jones. That'll totally destroy Lord. He loves Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's cruel.
Hey, Rach. I've got a cool idea for you that involves a whip and snakes.
I love that description. It's perfect.
I know, right? Weird, as we always say.